Today I'm joined by Father Karl Marsolle, old adversary of mine from our seminary days, famous for his inability to catch on to certain English phrases.
I got better.
So Father Marsolle, how long have you been ordained for the Fraternity of St. Peter?
8 years. So back in 2012 I was
Already?
ordained.
8
Yes,
years?
8 years already.
Gosh.
Time flies.
And you've got no hair left already.
Yeah, went by fast too.
And where are you currently stationed?
Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, and how long have you been there?
So just a year. And prior to this I was in New Jersey for 5 years. And prior to that I was in Richmond for 2 years as an assistant pastor.
Oh, so you've come all the way back home again?
Yes, full circle.
So you've moved from being the assistant to the big chief.
Yes.
And how have you found it?
It's challenging, but rewarding in many ways, but there's a lot to do.
Okay, what are the challenges?
Challenges. So we're only 2 priests running a pretty big apostolate. So we have about close to 400 families and about 900 registered parishioners. So for 2 priests, it's a over.
There's a lot of work.
There is.
Okay.
Yes.
What we've been finding when I've been doing these interviews with other priests is that the stability of the fraternity has really helped people grow in holiness. They can depend on the fraternity being there for them to guide them through their spirituality. Is that the same in Virginia?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have 2 apostolates in Virginia, one in Richmond and one in Chesapeake. And the fraternity has been in Richmond since 2011. And the parish has kept on growing and growing ever more. And we assure, there's confession half an hour before every Mass, there's confession 2 hours on Saturday. So our parish is known as a confession parish in the diocese. Okay. So it keeps us busy. I think I added it up to about, it's 13 and a half hours of confession we offer every week.
Excellent. Excellent. And that certainly encourages people to use the confessional properly, rather than turning to some of the other, I don't know what we would call them, less sacramental ways of warding off the evil and warding off the devil.
Oh, sure. Ordinary means.
Ordinary means. So good old confession and good old communion.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Excellent. What would you say as a young pastor, you've just taken over, it's been a year, you've had a chance now to assess where your parish is at. Is there any particular projects you're working on, or where do you want to see it in 3 years' time?
Well, currently we just finished paying off the parking lot. So we have a brand new parking lot in our facility. I'm working on projects, playground, because we have a lot of young families, a lot of kids. And so there's a whole plan to renovate the playground area, the picnic area, the sports fields. So where do I want to be in 3 years? Debt-free and with a beautiful parish.
And what does that beautiful parish mean? Like, do you have a spiritual expectation for how you want your people to be? Do you want them all to be saints? Or?
Oh, absolutely. And what we've been working on, and maybe they're tired of hearing me every Sunday preach on this, but the list of non-negotiables. Make your list of non-negotiables, your mental prayer, your spiritual reading, your rosary. Don't budge from it, your morning offering, your evening prayers, regular confession. I recommend monthly confession at least. Mm-hmm. And so yes, if I could have a parish that observes the non-negotiables, their non-negotiables, then yes, I think we'd be in a good place.
Okay. And for anybody who's watching who might think, well, that sounds like a lot of non-negotiables. Where does that come from in your own spirituality? Is that, are those the linchpins of your own spirituality?
Absolutely. Yes. He's worth it. When you look at the crucifix behind us, that's what he did for me. What will I do for him? And if we don't have a structured minimum, we're not going to get there. So that's
so adding a little bit of structure to your prayer life, making sure that you have those non-negotiables down is one of the paths to holiness.
Absolutely.
Great. Again, for those, who live in strange times, and for those maybe isolated from being able to attend Mass or being able to get there as frequently as they want, what would be the one thing that you would tell them to do for themselves to help them become holier?
Well, spiritual reading and at least 15 minutes a day with our Lord.
Okay. Is there anything particular you would have them read?
Well, there are some books I always recommend. There are three books mainly by Father Jacques Philippe. One is Searching for and Maintaining Peace. A beautiful little book, and I think it goes to the heart of regaining your peace, which is founded on your faith, your hope, and your love for Christ. The other book I always recommend by Father Jacques Philippe is The Way of Trust and Love. It's a little retreat, a 5-day retreat with Sainte Therese, the little flower. And the last one is Thirsting for Prayer. And that's on how to structure your prayer life, how to maximize, how to get the most out of your prayer life. So the beginning of the book, and they're all short books. So for the busy man, they go to the heart of the spiritual life. Those are the ones I recommend. So Thirsting for Prayer, the first part is theoretical. Why is prayer so important? And then the last part, practical. How to better pray your rosary, how to better do mental prayer, how to better do Lectio Divina. So very important principles.
Okay. And just for those watching at home, could you list those again,
Yes.
please?
So Searching for and Maintaining Peace is the first one. Then The Way of Trust and Love. And then the last one is Thirsting for Prayer by Father Jacques Philippe, who's a French author.
And all of those books are available from Fraternity Publications. So check out our bookstore, make sure that you subscribe to this video and like it. Thank you very much.